I found the best way to run Facebook ads for a small business. We are going to go over structure, ad creatives, budgeting and scaling, and overall best practices for your campaign. What's going on, everybody? My name is Luke Thorberg, and at my agency, we run Facebook ads for small businesses in a bunch of different industries. So over time, we've been able to see patterns for what works really well for small businesses with these lower budgets and the things that don't work so well. So today, I'm going to give you a quick and straightforward guide, and by the end of the video, you should be able to create and run a Facebook ad campaign all by yourself. We will be going over the best way to structure your campaign, how to create your own low cost or even free ad creatives, how to choose a budget and scale your campaign, and some general tips and best practices. So really quick, just so we all know, why would we pick Facebook ads versus all of these different platforms that we have out there to advertise? Well, Facebook ads, which is really comprised of Facebook, Instagram, and soon Threads here, not only has the biggest reach with over 3 billion active users, they also have the best ads manager, and this allows you to generate the most consistent returns. So without further ado, let's dive into how to structure a Facebook ad campaign. We are going to assume that you already have your pixel set up for data tracking, and if you don't, there are a ton of videos on YouTube to figure out how to do this that you can watch later. All right, let's dive into the ad account. Here it is. You'll see that we're only running one ad campaign right now, and if you're a small business, this is really all you need. Think about it like this. You should only have one campaign per objective that you're trying to get your customer to complete. So for most small businesses, your objective is going to be to get more sales, so you're going to have a sales campaign. But if you also wanted to run ads to get people to RSVP for some type of event that you're holding, then you'd want to run a separate campaign for this. But especially in small businesses, sales are normally the number one priority, so we're going to just start with one sales campaign for now. Next, we are going to move into the ad set level, and you'll see that we only have 3 different ad sets here. The first ad set we'll touch on is the broad ad set, which basically means we don't use any targeting at all, and we just let Meta choose who it thinks is the best person to show our ad to. This type of targeting has had some crazy hype building up on it in the last year, and I will say that the hype is definitely real. This is normally going to be your best performing ad set. It is important to not put any restrictions on this at all if possible. A lot of marketers will think, well, my product is only for men or my product is only for women. Why would I target this other group of people? Well, really, you just never know who's going to be buying the product for someone else, so you don't want to exclude these groups or else you could just miss out on sales. Next, we have the interest stack, and this is where you group up a bunch of different interests that your customers are most likely to be interested in. Sometimes you'll be able to find an interest that is large enough to where you can leave it by itself, but oftentimes, especially if you're a small business and you're working within a local region, you're going to have to group multiple interests together so Meta has a large enough audience so it can really do its thing and optimize. Finally, we have the lookalike audience, and this is where you take your past customer data and you give it to Meta so they can try to find users who are similar to your past customers. There are plenty of videos on how to make these audiences. I have one on TikTok that I can link to, but if you don't have that many past customers or you don't have access to their data, it is perfectly fine to just run the first 2 options, which is the interest stack and the broad audience. In between these 3 different ad sets, you'll for sure be able to reach your target customer, and after running this for a while, you'll see that 1 or 2 perform significantly better than the others, and you'll turn off those underperforming ad sets. But more on this later. Next, the best way to make low-cost creatives for your campaign. Now, structuring your ad campaign correctly is really helpful, but your ad creative is definitely the biggest key to a profitable campaign. So this is where you'll want to put a majority of your effort. Let's go over the 2 best tools for beginners to use to make their ad creatives. But if you don't want to do this yourself, this is where an agency who makes really good ad creatives and does all of this for you comes in handy. Let's start with Canva. Canva is great for creating image ads, and their templates look really professional. It's very drag and drop, so check them out. It is really easy to use. Next is InVideo. I would say this is really similar to Canva, but it is for video ads. They have a bunch of good templates on there with good stock video and good stock images that you can put together to make a really clean ad. And no, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies or affiliated with them in any way. They're just really useful, easy to learn tools that are great for beginners that may not want to spend the time time to learn some of these more complicated softwares. And if you need some good examples of high performing ad creatives that companies are running right now, you can go ahead and check out my TikTok. I have a bunch of good examples on there, and I'll probably make some really good in-depth videos in the future of how to make high performing ad creatives, so feel free to subscribe if you want to stay up on that. You're going to want to run 3 to 5 different ads, and I would mix it up. So I would run 1 image ad and 2 video ads, or vice versa. But really it is whatever format that you can make the best ad in. Now, how to choose a budget and scale your campaign. Let's start with the budget. You'll need to be prepared to spend about $30 a day or around $1,000 a month. This will allow you to see some good results and build up some data. And as much as everyone hates to say this, the first month is really about learning what type of creatives and formats resonate with your customer so you can use that data to be profitable in the long run. That doesn't mean you won't be profitable in your first month, because if you do this well, you probably will, but the goal here is to be profitable in the long run, month after month, and not just in the short term. Now, after you've been running your ad campaigns for a little bit and you're starting to see some winning and profitable ads, you'll probably want to start pumping more money into this campaign to get even more results. This is called scaling, and there are a couple of different ways to do this that I'm about to touch on. The first is called vertical scaling, and this is what most people think of when they hear the term scaling. This is slowly increasing the budget behind the ads that you're already running to get them in front of more people. The second way to scale is called horizontal scaling, and this is targeting bigger audiences with more ad creatives. And obviously, this requires you to make more successful creatives. Now, the question is, should you scale your campaign vertically or horizontally? Typically, the answer is going to be some combination of both. You'll start by vertically scaling your winning ads by increasing the budget by around 10% per day. But after a certain point, you will no longer be able to vertically scale and still see profitable results. This is due to your ads fatiguing and people no longer being interested in them like they were before. This is when you'll start to scale horizontally by targeting bigger audiences and adding more ad creatives to target them. If you repeat this process over and over again, in theory, you can scale as big as you want. So this has been a lot of information in a short amount of time, but now you're ready to create and run your ad campaign. But let's answer one of the most common questions I get about Facebook ads, and that is, how long should you wait before you make any changes? I would wait at least 1 to 2 weeks. I've seen campaigns that look like they're performing really poorly until about the 10-day mark, where they really start turning around and getting a lot of conversions. Your budget contributes to this a lot. If you're running a really small budget, it takes a while to get data and really see if your campaign's performing well, where if you're running a larger budget, you get data more quickly. It's just important that you give yourself enough time to gather data to make a good enough decision, and you don't jump the gun and turn off your ads before they've really had enough time. That's it. Good luck, and make sure that you leave any questions that you have in the comments, and stay tuned because I will be making another video next week.